Holy, 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 love divine within holy, 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 in the presence great and mighty. Holy, 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 love divine within you.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Kathy McCall. Welcome to Unity North Spiritual Center in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. We're so glad you're here today. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome at Unity. If you're new, you may not know that Unity North is part of a greater worldwide unity movement. We are the publishers of the Daily Word magazine. We've been holding 130 years of prayer vigil through Silent Unity, the prayer ministry of the Unity movement. So prayer is the heart and soul of unity. Also, one of our prayer chaplains is available to pray today. It's Susan Marie Lawler, and I think she's here. Can you wave, Susan? Let's see. Her husband's waving. Oh, there she is. She's waving. And she'll be holding her phone number up at some point. And then also at the beginning of social time, she can hold her number up. I'll call on you. And if for some reason at the beginning of social time, I forget, Susan, just wave. So she'll be available to pray right after service, and take advantage of that opportunity to have someone pray with you. It's always a wonderful experience. And prayer does more for us than we ever even know. So thank you for being with us today, Susan Marie. And then also it's a special service today. It's our Burning Bowl and Letters to God service that we always do just right at the new year, almost to the new year. And it's a time of release and renewal as we let go of the past year. I'm sure we'll all be very happy to do that in many ways. And as we move forward into 2021. So Rhonda is going to tell you more about that in a little bit. I also want to mention I have a sad announcement today. And I want to see if Julie's here yet.
She is.
Okay. So many of you already know that this week we lost a beloved congregant, Jeannie Hollingsworth. She passed away on Monday, and it was very sudden and shocking. Always when it's sudden, it's a shock for people. And that's part of the difficulty. And so she leaves behind her sister, Julie, who was her roommate, and also her son, Akalon, and his son, Kai. So we just want to give them a lot of extra love and support through this time. Jeannie was with Unity North from the very beginning, I understand, which is almost 30 years now. Very devoted member. I know that I've been here for a year and she came to every single class that I did and every event that's been held since my time. And I know she was doing that for years and years before. So she really meant and continues to mean a lot to people. I have to say that she left on a most auspicious day. She left on Monday, on the winter solstice, and the day of the grand conjunction, the closest Jupiter and Saturn have been to each other in 800 years. So I think that's a very auspicious time to leave, which somehow speaks to the nature of Jeannie's soul. Also, I want to tell you that she has been part of a Native American community as well, and they're doing something special for her this morning. So Julie will need to leave partway through this service to go to that, and so won't be with us for social time after. So you can speak with her, but she will be coming next week for that. It also gives her an additional week to settle into the reality of things now. So, but let's just do a brief prayer for now for Jeannie and for her family. Let's just take a moment. Loving Spirit, we give thanks for your presence in our lives. And we know that you are with Jeannie right now as she embarks upon her new adventure. We know that you go before her, making blessed her way, surrounding and enfolding her with your love and light, and knowing that she's always held in the light. And we know that for her family as well, that they are surrounded and enfolded in your love, in your light, filled with faith, with peace and strength through this time. For Julie, for Akalan, for Kai, for all in this spiritual community who know and love her well, all her family and friends. And we just give thanks for the knowing of Jeannie, the opportunity to have been blessed by her, and for the loving support that is being offered to her family now through this community and her other one. And so for Jeannie and her family, we say thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Well, today I want to say thank you for our helpers today, Chris Italiano, who is with us each week. He is our sound person, our IT person, and our longtime member. We're grateful for his presence. And also his wife, Rhonda, is our worship assistant today. Rhonda is our licensed Unity teacher at Unity North. Also, there was a time of transition where she served as part-time spiritual leader. And we're glad you could be with us, Wanda, today as worship assistant. And then we have special guest musicians today. And I'm thrilled to introduce Jennifer Russell and her husband, Michael Gale. Jennifer, I knew at my last ministry at Unity of, it's hard when you start saying I was at Unity of South Bay before, now I'm at Unity North. So I have to keep my directions straight. Anyway, She came to sing for me quite frequently at that ministry. And I'm so thrilled to be able to have her come now in Minnesota. And Jennifer and Michael Gale, her husband, have been creating award-winning music together for over 30 years. They continue to create music every day. And you can find them at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Jennifer and Michael. Or Jennifer's own website is Jennifer Ruth Russell. Russell has 2 S's and 2 L's in it. JenniferRuthRussell.com. She's an award-winning songwriter and spiritual mentor. Her life's vision, she says, is to uplift, empower, and transform the world with songs and prayers that open the heart. And she's written, recorded, and performed 7 albums of powerful, uplifting music. And she's also written and recorded over 75 children's award-winning songs on the virtues. She's been a spiritual mentor for over 18 years. She trained at Agape International Spiritual Center under Reverend Michael Beckwith. So, and her husband Michael's an award-winning producer and sound engineer. Michael has an ear for producing excellent music. He produces and arranges all Jennifer's recordings and many others at Glenn's Sound Studios. So it's a thrill to have both of them today. So please give them a warm welcome as they perform our opening song today.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Unity North. We are glad to be here. Let's open up our hearts together to the luminous love light of the one. And I just want to dedicate all the music today to Jeannie and everyone that's made their way, as Reverend Michael would say, off the mortal coil. So let's open up together. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening.
Good morning, and thank you so much for your music, Jennifer and Michael. That was beautiful. I want to start us off with a little bit of Zoom etiquette. Everyone was muted upon entry. We did that on purpose, not because we don't want to hear your beautiful voices, but because the background noise creates some echoing that's not very pleasant. So if you have something that you want to say, please find the mute and unmute button on my laptop. It's in the lower left corner. For your device, you'll have to see where that is. So if you have something you want to say, please do unmute yourself. I am also wondering if we have anyone who is new with us for the first time. If you are new, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself so that we know who you are. Anyone new this morning? I breezed through earlier and didn't see any, but sometimes people join later. No? All right. Well, then we want to take a moment to greet one another. So if you would please just wave, say good morning. There we go. All right. The other thing I need to let you know is that the order of service is a little bit different this morning. This is our Burning Bowl and Letters to God service. So you will notice that things are in a little bit different order. We do not have a specific prayer time this morning. We will sort of incorporate that into the Burning Bowl and letters section that we do later on. So with that, I think I've covered everything on my list. We are going to transition into the daily word. So the daily word for today, Sunday, December 27th, 2020, is release. I take the best and leave the rest. My experiences of this past year have brought me gifts of insight, new perspectives, many chances to grow and stretch myself, and perhaps the opportunity to develop a skill that serves me in my work or brings greater enjoyment to my leisure time. Some experiences have been painful or difficult. These too have offered their gifts. I accept all that has come my way. With gratitude, I bless it all. I find the gifts and release what no longer serves my growth. Assured that God is my dependable source, I release any pain of a financial setback. In the joy of restored health, I release any memory of illness. Grateful for all modes of connection, I release any pain of loneliness. I move forward feeling lighter, cleansed, and renewed for my journey forward. From Isaiah 43:18, we read, "Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old." The word for today is release. And with that, I am going to turn it back over to Jennifer and Michael.
There's only light. We are the light. There's only light. We are the light. This is the truth and the beginning of everything. You are the light from the great sun. I am the light, born of the one. This is the truth and the beginning of everything. Light flows from one source. It cannot be divided. Light is everywhere in all places at the same time. beginning of everything. You are the light from the great sun. I am the light, born of the one. This is the truth and the beginning of everything.
Thank you so much, Jennifer and Michael. It's beautiful. Well, I'm doing my lesson at this point in the service, and then we'll move into the meditative part after today. So that's a little reversal. My lesson title is called Paradigm Shift. There's an old story about two monks on a pilgrimage who came to the ford of a river, and there they saw a woman dressed in all of her finery. She obviously was confused or distraught because she didn't want to ruin her clothes, and the river was very high. So without further ado, one of the monks put her on his back and carried her across to the other side, set her down on dry ground. And then the monks continued on their way. Well, after an hour, the other monk started complaining. Surely it's not right to touch a woman. It's against the commandments to have close contact with women. How could you go against the rules of the monks? And the monk who had carried her walked along silently, but finally he remarked, I set her down by the river an hour ago. Why are you still carrying her? Whatever changes we face in our lives, we can ask ourselves, what are we still carrying that is holding us back? That is an important question for us today as we find ourselves at the threshold of a new year. Creating new paradigms involves letting go of the old to make way for the new. The focus is only on the past in the way that it can help us. It is more important that our focus now be on the present and future vision. A paradigm is a worldview or vision. It is both the personal and a collective issue. We let go of an old way of thinking and being, and we embrace a new way. Speaking of change, Paul Harvey once reported a divorce in Porto Alegre, Brazil. Brazilian farmer Romeo Bittencourt, aged 90, married 65 years, 12 children, 50 grandchildren, 36 great-grandchildren, divorced. The reason cited, incompatibility. Well, the serpent shedding its skin has long been a symbol of a paradigm shift. It means healing, change, transformation, and new beginning. And as we begin a new year, we are shedding the skin of the past and embracing a new paradigm. There's a wonderful Swedish story about that told by Buddhist Jack Kornfield. This story is also found in my book, The Unorthodox Life. Because of the mishap of her parents, a young princess named Eris must be betrothed to a fearful dragon. When the king and queen tell her, she becomes frightened for her life, but recovering her wits, she goes out beyond the market to seek a wise woman who has raised 12 children and 29 grandchildren and knows the ways of dragons and men. The wise woman tells Eris that she indeed must marry the dragon, but there are proper ways to approach him. She then gives instructions for the wedding night. In particular, the princess is bidden to wear 10 beautiful gowns, one on top of the other. Well, the wedding takes place. A feast is held in the palace, after which the dragon carries the princess off to his bedchamber. When the dragon advances toward his bride, she stops him, saying she must carefully remove her wedding attire before offering her heart to him. And he too, she adds, instructed by the wise woman, must properly remove his attire. To this he willingly agrees. As I take off each layer of my gown, you must also remove a layer. So then, taking off the first gown, the princess watches as the dragon sheds his outer layer of scaly armor. Though it is painful, the dragon has done this periodically before, so it's okay. Then the princess removes another gown and then another. And each time the dragon finds he too must claw off a deeper layer of scales. By the fifth gown, the dragon begins to weep copious tears at the pain, yet the princess continues. With each successive layer, the dragon's skin becomes more tender and his form softens. He becomes lighter and lighter. When the princess removes her 10th gown, the dragon releases the last vestige of dragon form and emerges as a man, a fine prince whose eyes sparkle like a child's, released at last from the ancient spell of his dragon form. Princess Eris and her new husband are then left to the pleasures of their bridal chamber to fulfill the last advice of the wise woman with 12 children and 29 grandchildren. Well, as in a dream, or as in what we call unity metaphysical interpretation, the figures in such a story can be found within us. The dragon, the attending princess, the wise grandmother, the irresponsible king and queen, the hidden prince, the unknown one who has cast the enchantment long ago, the enchantment of false belief. The story reveals that the journey of love is not always about going right into the light. It is not about falling into love and living happily ever after at the moment. Whether it's romantic, platonic, or opening ourselves to a greater experience of God, love demands that we take off our skin, take off our old consciousness, and open our heart. Receiving grace, opening to illumination, becoming wise and knowing divine love has not always been easy, even for the masters. It includes a purification, a cleansing, a house cleaning, a spiritual makeover. It is not always fun to cast off our scales, our own armor. Fortunately, as the dragon skins are removed, it is not all pain. There comes a lightness as each wedding gown is removed, as each scale is removed, as if angels are bringing blessings as well. We learn how to step from these old skins, the small sense of self, so we may see and act from an open heart. So removing the scales does not only apply to personal relationships, it means removing the fears, the old habits, the old thinking that prevent our good. It means becoming open-hearted so we can behold the Christ in everyone and everything. So today, as we prepare for the new year, we first let go of this past year in a ceremony of release. We let go of old habits, old beliefs, old ways of being, anything that's holding us back. Then we activate the new paradigm, a new way of being, seeing, thinking, and acting in the world. There is great power in ritual like this when we set our intention, and especially when we do it collectively. Paul said, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Jesus put it a little differently. In Matthew 9:16 and 17, it is recorded that he said, "And no one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch tears away from the garment and a worse tear is made. Neither is new wine put into old wineskins. If it is, the skins burst and the wine is spilled and the skins are destroyed, but new wine is put into fresh wineskins, so both are preserved." New wine requires fresh wineskins. What does this mean for us? Well, most of us have had the experience of taking an old consciousness, old patterns and beliefs into a new relationship, a new job, a new geographical location, and having it fall apart or end the way it did before. Yes? Anybody? Well, we have to strip our scales away first. We have to shed the old skin, stepping into a new consciousness in order to accept the new wine, the new love, the new life, the new job, the new prosperity, the new ideas, the new year. We do not want to do what's called the codependent 10-step. 1, meet new man or woman. 2, convince yourself he, she is wonderful and find his or her faults endearing. 3, fall in love. 4, then find out he or she is incapable of loving you. 5, this takes a long time to sink in. 6, get really hurt and cry a lot. 7, bore and annoy your friends with week after endless week of irrational sadness over loss of a friendship you never really had. 8, all of a sudden see your situation for what it really is. Feel like a fool for ever having loved him or her. Get over him or her. 9, swear off ever having another relationship. 10, repeat. And again, this applies in all kinds of relationships, in work and in life. New wine symbolizes spirit, and putting it into a new wineskin means that as we discard the old and embrace the new, we have a much better ability to contain the power of spirit and to live and love in healthy ways. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, the renewing of your heart. To create a new wineskin or a new consciousness means changing our minds, seeing with new eyes. It would serve us to take more time imagining and seeing a bright future. We sometimes resist change because we may fear the unknown. We may fear loss of control or security. We may even fear death. An old European monastery was perched high on a 500-foot cliff, and visitors would ride up in a big basket pulled to the top by a very ragged rope. Halfway up, a passenger nervously asked, "How often do you change the rope?" The monk in charge replied, whenever the old one breaks. But we can make change a lot easier on ourselves. Once we accept this is a new paradigm being born in me, in my community, in my country, in my world, then we let go, we stop fighting, and we allow the new birth to take place. You know, I love this story of Walt Disney's death experience. I've told it before, I think, but it's worth hearing again. Talk about a person who ushered in a new paradigm. Well, Mike Vance, former Disney executive, relates a journalist, knowing that Walt was seriously ill, persisted on getting an interview with Walt and was frustrated by the hospital staff. When he finally managed to get into the room, Walt could not sit up in bed or talk above a whisper. Walt instructed the reporter to lie down on the bed next to him so he could whisper in the reporter's ear. For the next 30 minutes, Walt and the journalist lay side by side as Walt referred to an imaginary map of Walt Disney World on the ceiling above the bed. He pointed out where he planned to place various attractions and buildings. He talked about transportation, hotels, restaurants, and many other parts of his vision for a property that would not open to the public for another 6 years. A man who lay dying in the hospital whispered in a reporter's ear for 30 minutes, describing his vision for the future and the role he would play in it for generations to come. What a way to live. Not that everybody has that kind of calling, but still believing so much in your vision that even when you're dying, you could whisper it into another person's ear if you had that opportunity. Well, an example of a personal paradigm shift is told by Edward McGrath Jr. He was not willing to accept a belief in the status quo. He had greater vision. He said, I'm not old enough to play football or baseball. I'm not 8 yet. My mom told me when you start baseball, you aren't going to be able to run that fast because you had an operation. I told Mom I wouldn't need to run that fast. When I play baseball, I'll just hit them out of the park. Then I'll be able to walk. So this little boy was able to see beyond the limitations of his operation into a larger vision. And that's what a paradigm shift is, letting go of an old belief, an old mindset that is limiting and seeing what seems impossible. One could look at letting go another way, like Mark Twain did, for example. After moving to Carson City, Nevada, Twain wrote a letter back home saying, Carson City is a den of iniquity, full of wine, women, and song. Certainly not a place for a good Presbyterian. Therefore, I no longer am one. Well, not only are we changing from one year to another, there's also a huge paradigm shift happening in the world at present. We're creating a global culture, and it's no small task for each one of us alive in the world today. Technology and a critical mass in consciousness are forcing us to create new relevant systems wherever we turn. Medicine, religion, politics, education, business, science, they must all be redefined to stay relevant in the world. Physicist Peter Russell writes, change is occurring faster and faster. Much of the change will continue to occur at the leading edge of our current technologies. Computers will become faster, smaller, and more powerful. Scientists today are talking of optical computers working at the speed of light, quantum computers storing information in individual atoms and millions of times smaller than today's, and wet computers using DNA that may offer true artificial intelligence. Since the birth of the microprocessor in 1971, its performance has increased 25,000 times. This pattern has continued, so personal computer of 2020 is as powerful as all of the computers in Silicon Valley were in 1998. The World Wide Web was only introduced in 1990. We cannot even begin to predict our future communication. So can we develop the consciousness that will allow us to use our powers with wisdom? It is the new paradigm that comes from inner awakening that will be the determining factor. So we can help the paradigm shifts personally and collectively by staying positive and focusing on an uplifting vision, by performing ritual to release the past and then manifesting the new vision through our positive thoughts and words and actions. Let us refuse to engage in negative prophecy about our own life or about our species and planet. For example, when we're in the midst of a breakdown in our own lives, let's see it as preparation for breakthrough. Hold the higher vision and trust that God has a plan. We can see the problem, but affirm and act toward the highest good. As Jean Houston says, these are the times, we are the people. It is up to us to usher in the new collective paradigm. And in closing, there was a man who took interest in the construction of a new church. He went to visit the different workers one by one. Of the stonemason, he asked, well, what job are you doing? And the man replied, I'm preparing the stonework for the new building. Of the welder, he asked, what are you doing? And the welder replied, I'm creating ironwork for the new building. And this went on with the different ones he questioned until he came to a little old lady with a broom sweeping the area. And he asked, what job are you doing? And she replied, I'm building a cathedral. We stand at the threshold of a new year. We are all in a paradigm shift as we gladly release this past year and fully embrace 2021. Our change begins today as we let go of all that which is no longer for our highest good and call forth all that is. So God bless each one of you as agents of change and transformation. Happy New Year. Thank you. So it's now time to prepare for our meditation period, our burning bowl. And I just want to give you a few tips. And Rhonda's going to talk about it. Just to start, you may want to get your things ready. And Rhonda, you're going to tell them what to have ready, correct? All right, then I won't go into it too much, but you may need something to burn your papers in, whether it's a pan. I have a pan with some foil in the bottom of it and a candle to drop my paper in. You may want your candle on a plate so it'll pick up your ashes. So you can figure out how to do it and run and grab it if you need to. And then Rhonda will tell you more in just a moment. So I think actually, let me just start here. Our ceremony today is twofold. It includes the burning bowl, followed by us writing letters to God. And Rhonda will lead you through the burning bowl part, and I will lead you through your letter to God. But first, Jennifer will sing for us for just a few minutes. This gives you a moment to get ready. Since you do that, you hear her sing at the same time.
This song woke me up in the middle of the night and said it really wanted to be a part of the service, a chance for us to really come into compassion to ourselves with those things that we're still working on. So would you sing the song with me? It's a Ho'oponopono prayer chant. It's very simple. And sing it to yourself. I love you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. I wanted to just sit here for a few more minutes in the silence and let that be. Thank you. I want to go over a couple of housekeeping things before we dive in here. As Reverend Kathy mentioned, you're going to need the bags that you got, the holiday bags that Darlinda and Reverend Kathy put together. So you want to get those out. From your bag, you are going to need the little squares of paper that were in there and something to write with. If you did not get a holiday bag, or if you just don't have it handy, scraps of paper that you have around will work just fine. So you just need to have some materials close by. As Kathy mentioned, whatever you're going to use to burn it with, make sure that you have that at hand as well. If you are not wanting to burn things, you can also rip the paper up, and that's another way to release that. So I think that's it for supplies. So I am going to step you through the burning bowl piece of this ritual, and that's the release part. And then Jennifer and Michael are going to lead us in song. And then Reverend Kathy will lead you in the letters to God portion, which is the welcoming in of what you want part. So here we go. The burning bowl ceremony is a beautiful ritual of release, where we let go of old patterns and old attitudes that no longer serve us by saying goodbye to the year 2020 and embracing and welcoming 2021. The burning bowl ceremony is a tool for cleansing the subconscious mind of resentments, negative or false thoughts, beliefs, feelings, unforgiveness, attitudes, and concepts. Anything we want to let go of. In itself, the burning bowl process has no power. It is merely a symbolic act to help impress the subconscious mind with the seriousness of our conscious mind. We are telling the subconscious that what we are burning is no longer to be used. The memory of what we are burning is to be deactivated as a hidden motive for action, and its emotional energy is to be used in a new, positive, and creative way. By adding faith to our complete surrender, we help this to happen. One thing we need to keep in mind is that we don't need to have a mountain of faith in order to have this process work and be effective. We just need to turn to spirit in faith, and that will start the process. So I will guide you through the meditation of release and then let you know when it is time to place your paper in the flame. Remember to just drop the paper. Don't try to touch it to the flame. Even though it is not flash paper, it is very thin and it will burn quickly. When you are done, remain in a meditative state, considering your letter to God in which you express your desires for the new year. Do not write until everyone is ready, and Reverend Kathy will take you through that process. So now I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath, saying to yourself, I am completely and totally relaxed. I am completely and totally relaxed. I am completely and totally relaxed. Say to yourself silently, it is not I, but the Christ within who does the work. Sometimes we might feel stuck because we don't know how. God knows. It is not I, but the Christ within who does the work. The past has served us well. It has brought us to this point, and we can be thankful for that. But by hanging on to the past, we cannot receive the gift that the present holds for us. We are blessed with God's grace. God's love in action in our lives. January 1st comes reminding us that at any moment we can begin anew. Allow your breath to slow down as you become peaceful and filled with the healing presence of Spirit. Relax your body and clear your mind. Prepare to receive. Prepare to receive images and impressions of those things which are no longer serving your spiritual evolution. Say silently to yourself, I invite your sacred presence into my awareness. Show me what needs to be forgiven. Bring to the surface my beliefs and attitudes that no longer serve me. Help me to clear out and forgive the past, that I may be filled with the vitality of life. I'm going to give you a moment in the silence to let those impressions come to the surface. The past has no power over me. I forgive and release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. God is my wholeness. I allow Spirit to move through any area of my life where the flow of love has been blocked, where I may have sabotaged my good. I release it and let it go. I now release and forgive all the people and situations of my past that have caused me to hold on to any anger or resentment. I release any thoughts, hurts, or experiences that no longer serve me. I release the things that bring hurt to my heart. Feelings of shame, guilt, unhealthy habits or beliefs that are not useful to me now. I assure myself that the load will be much lighter when people and old hurts are forgiven, when habits are let go, when attitudes and beliefs are transformed, when fears are brought into the light. Now I take a moment and reflect on myself. I am a child of God, both human and divine. I deserve self-forgiveness for any perceived shortcomings. I call forth compassion for myself. I release and let go of any guilt, resentment, regret, fear, negative feelings or beliefs about myself, feelings of lack or limitation. I am a child of God, therefore made in God's image and likeness, and God loves me just as I am right now. Take a moment now to open your eyes. Remain in a quiet meditative state and write out whatever it is that you would like to release in the silence. You can write on both sides of your paper if needed, or use more than one. I will let you know when it is time to go to the burning bowl. Take time to write now in the silence. Put it down on paper. What is it that you would like to leave in the past? What impressions came to you? What is it that you need to release? I let the Spirit of God work in me now. I know that it is not by might nor by power, but by Spirit. In a moment, we will burn or tear up our papers. This is a time to remain silent. Put your paper in the flame, representing the cleansing action of fire. Do not hold on to it, but let it go. As you release the paper, release from your mind everything that you have written on that paper, knowing that the living Spirit of truth is healing and transforming everything right now. Say to yourself silently something like, I release, I let go, and I am free. I release, I let go, and I am free. Then silently remain in quiet meditation on your vision for 2021 until everyone is finished. I will let you know when that is so we can begin our letters to God. So this is your time to burn whatever it is that you have written on your paper that you want to let go of. What are you going to leave in the past? So tear that up or burn that now. Remember, this is all about letting go. Don't set it to fire and then hold on to it. Drop it into the pan or whatever it is that you were using to catch it. I release, I let go, and I am free. I release, I let go, and I am free. We'll give people just a little bit of time to finish up that process. And we are going to ask Jennifer and Michael now to lead us in song.
I am a child of the light. I see the light. I live in the light. I am protected, illumined, supplied. I'm sustained by the light. I love the light. I bless the light. I am a child of the light. I love the light. I serve the light. I live in the light. I am protected, illumined, supplied. I'm sustained by the light. I love the light. I bless the light. I am.
Let us know and silently affirm. I am not bound to the past. I am made new. Through the power of the Christ in me, I release the old and ask that any obstacles within me now be taken away. I behold the new. I see myself in a new light. I see my strengths and count my blessings. I am now open to the good that lies before me. In a moment, we will write our letters to God, setting our intentions for 2021 and writing our letters in gratitude, giving thanks to God in advance for that which we are grateful to receive. And I suggest writing your letter in that way. Dear God, I give thanks for, or dear God, I give thanks that. And there was a piece of stationery in your holiday bag, or there is one if you still have it in there. Or if you just have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper to write yourself a letter that you can keep for some months. So if we were live, I would have you write your letter, then seal your letter in an envelope with your address on it. We would collect them and save them until late next summer, and then they would be mailed to you so you can read them at that time. But now that we are virtual, when you're done, I'll invite you to just fold your paper either in thirds to put in an envelope if you like, or in half to put in a file folder labeled Letter to God for 2021, somewhere where you will remember it, be able to find it. And after the service, you can save your letter somewhere so you can find it next August and pull it out to read it. We'll also send you a reminder email from the church suggesting you now read your letter. It's always really fun and interesting to read it about that many months later and see how you're doing. So continue to contemplate your heart's dreams for the new year for a moment. And then I invite you to take the paper out and begin to write your letter to God just as you go. Let it free flow through you, giving thanks in advance to God for that which you desire in 2021. I'll let you go for a bit. And if you don't finish before this time, then you can certainly finish it after. Take as much time as you need after and then put it away. But there's great power in gratitude. So feel the gratitude as though you've already received your good. And I just invite you to write silently. There may be a little background music, feel free. But just write for a moment until I tell you to stop. not done, know that you can complete it after our service. Let us together know that before us is a gateway to our future, fresh and open, full of promise and opportunity. Behind us is everything that has happened to us in life, which has brought us to this moment at the brink of a new year. We step through the gateway and we greet the new year 2021 with open arms and a clear heart. And we go forward in a spirit of gratitude. And let us express that as we now sing together. I release and I let go.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you're discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go. Let it all go. This is what you have to say. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Thank you. So let us take the passion of our music and all of the beautiful prayer energy that we have been working on this morning, and let us pour that into our offering blessing. If you would please say that with me. Divine love flowing through me now blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. And I think we get to have some more music at this point. So I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer and Michael again.
Wow. Wow, what a beautiful ceremony, what a beautiful service. Thank you, Reverend Kathy, for inviting us. It's just been great to be with you. I love the lesson and the ceremony. What a beautiful time to be together. And so we're going to do a celebratory song. Something wonderful is happening through me. It's happening through you. It's happening through us. Absolutely. We are the light of the world. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Something wonderful. It's happening through my mind. It's happening through my body. Right
Thank you for your music.
Thank you, Rhonda.
And
Thank you, Chris.
I think this is the time when we are going to have just a moment to go through the community news. So first of all, this coming Thursday, December 31st at 6 a.m. bright and early, our Pippin Peace is Present Now service is taking place with the YOU. This is the annual New Year's Eve service hosted by our Youth of Unity, so don't miss it. On Sunday, January 3rd, so a week from today at 10:30 a.m., we have our White Stone meditation ceremony during our Sunday service, and the music is provided by a Paraguayan harpist, Nicholas Carter. He just did a concert for us recently. He is absolutely fabulous, so I really hope you can join us for that service. And I think there are links for each of these events on this listing, and you'll find them all on the website. So please do check that out for more information. On Friday, January 8th at 7 p.m., we will have a 12 Power service that is also very popular with our community. And of course, it will be virtual this year. So Reverend Kathy and I will host that for you. On Wednesday, January 27th, that will be the start of a class with Reverend Kathy, 6 weeks on racism and white fragility. So that's just really intriguing to me. I can't wait to hear more about that one. So there will be more details to come on that one. So please do watch the church website and social media for more information on that. And I think the next thing on our order of service is the prayer for protection with Reverend Kathy.
First of all, thanks to Chris and Rhonda today for all your support in the service. And a special thank you to Jennifer and Michael for their beautiful music today. Thank you so much for being with us. You're just perfect for this service. Thank you.
It's been our joy to be here.
We hope you come again soon. So let's join together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now please join in our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And before you sign out, feel free to stay for a social time. We'll have it up to 30 minutes or so, as long as you end up wanting to stay.